Hunter Biden violates the congressional subpoena again. We know it's still in effect. We know that Congress really wants to talk to him. They're trying to figure out what to do about it. But Hunter showed up in Congress when they were there talking about him today and then left, just like he did the first time. And it was a pretty fiery day today. Nancy Mace was calling him out, saying he has no cojones, which is true. Marjorie Taylor-Green called him a coward, which is true. And we know that he's got a certain form of privilege, thanks to Byron who explains this. And the big question, of course, is, was he on crack today? Several reporters asked him about that. Stick around to hear his response. But let's start with what happened as he waltzed right on in there. My question, of course, was this planned? Did Joe Biden know about it? Karine said Joe Biden knew about the last one. And how does he just walk in and go right into the front of the hearing with seats saved for him? What Democrats were involved in conspiring to make this happen? Was it Stinky Swalwell again? Nobody knows. But we're going to see what it looked like as he surprised everybody this morning. MSNBC had cameras there. This is what it sounded like.
They want to
Julie,
talk to
we
Hunter
have
behind
these
closed
live
doors.
images right now. We see Hunter Biden appearing at the Capitol, just walking through the door. Looks like he's surrounded with his Secret Service team there and other members of his entourage. But he is officially at the Capitol as these hearings get underway. We're looking at live images right now as he goes through the metal detector or nearby the metal detectors. And we presumably expect him to enter at least one of these committee rooms because, again, this is before the Oversight Committee, also action happening in the Judiciary Committee. We're just going to follow these cameras and Hunter Biden and see where he's going to head, what's going to happen next. Again, he wasn't expected to show up for these hearings from the sense of he wasn't called by the people holding these hearings to appear. So he's choosing to be there. I want to bring.
So that is Hunter walking right in, and he walked, you can see him, right, walks right to the front. They've got 3 different seats right there in front for him, and he just takes the seat. So what we see is we're going to watch him just sit there for a little bit. Now he starts getting some questions. Nancy Mace is going to be where we start, and then he just exits as soon as Marjorie Taylor-Green starts to dig into him a bit because he probably doesn't want to see his genitals again up in Congress. So this is Nancy Mace, who is a representative on the committee, and she laced into Hunter as he was seated there. Here is what that sounded like.
It does not matter who you are, where you come from, or who your father is, or your last name. Yes, I'm looking at you, Hunter Biden, as I'm speaking to you. You are not above the law at all. The facts in this case are crystal clear. This committee issued a lawful subpoena to Hunter Biden, a critical witness in this committee's investigation into Biden family corruption. Hunter Biden and his lawyers did not claim privilege of any kind because clearly he has none. They didn't contest the legitimacy of our reasons for issuing the subpoena. No reasons, because they clearly are legitimate. And yet he refused to comply. Trump's family members, Don Trump Jr., he did not defy a congressional subpoena. He showed up multiple times for multiple depositions for several hours. In doing so, Hunter Biden broke the law. He did so deliberately. You did so flagrantly. You showed up on the Hill, on the Senate side, the day of that congressional subpoena to defy it and spit in the face of this committee. That's what you did.
Thank you for saying that, Nancy. That's exactly right. I'm glad you get it. I don't think Comer got it, but that's right. He did. He spit in your face. That's perfectly.
The question the American people are asking us is,
I like it.
What is Hunter Biden so afraid of?
Look
Why
at him
can't you
there.
show up for a congressional deposition? You're here for a political stunt. This is just a PR stunt to you. This is just a game that you are playing with the American people. You're playing with the truth. Hunter Biden wasn't afraid to sell access to Joe Biden to the highest bidder when he was in elected office. He wasn't afraid to trade on the Biden brand, peddle influence, and share those ill-gotten gains with members of his family, including Joe Biden. He wasn't afraid to compromise the integrity of the presidency and vice presidency by involving Joe Biden in shady business deals with our foreign adversaries. But Hunter Biden, you were too afraid to show up for a deposition. And you still can't today.
Yeah.
I believe that Hunter Biden should be held completely in contempt. I think he should be hauled off to jail right now, because it wasn't long ago, too, my friends on the other side of the aisle, that you also believed in the power of congressional subpoena. Not long ago at all. You believed in holding those who refused to comply with congressional subpoena accountable. And I stood with each and every one of you. I am the only member in this room today who has held a member of my own party in contempt of Congress for not showing up for a subpoena. And I see nothing but complete hypocrisy on the other side of the aisle. The ranking member of
That's the problem, Nancy. Like, they don't play according to the rules. So why are you?
This committee even so eloquently put it. The lesson is, please tell your children out there in America, if you get a subpoena to go before Congress, go. You have a legal responsibility to do so. So the hypocrisy is stunning. What are we to tell our children today? There's nothing the other side can say with a straight face. As the only member of this committee to vote to hold a member of contempt contempt of my own party. Let me be clear. This should not be a partisan issue. If Congress issues a subpoena, you show up, period. This is not a responsibility we take lightly. It brings no joy for us to do this, but the president's son broke the law and must be held accountable in the same way anybody else would. I urge my colleagues on both sides of the aisle to do so. And my last message to you, Hunter Biden, you play stupid games, you win stupid prizes.
Yeah, you little B. That's what she should have said, but because he is. Now, did you see that wink? And I noticed that myself. I see several of you caught that in the chat. There it is. Who is he winking to right there? Okay, that's Kevin Morris, the guy who's funneling a lot of money to pay for this guy. So Kevin Morris is that Hollywood lawyer. I think Garrett Ziegler, the author of Marco Polo Report on the Biden Laptop, knows everything about this guy, funneling a lot of money to pay for his legal fees. And apparently he's also working on a top secret documentary or something as well. But they show up, man. They get 3 seats right in the front, and Hunter is sitting in the middle. And watch this little wink right there. Who is this guy winking to? Boom. Do you see that right there? Boom. Who's that wink right there? Who is he winking to? That's somebody up there on the bench, right? Who's up there? Who's he winking to up there? I'm very curious. So what Democrats are involved in this conspiracy to continue to obstruct Congress? I don't know. So that's Nancy Mace. Now, it goes on, but as soon as Marjorie Taylor-Green went into her line of questioning, Hunter tapped his lawyer on the shoulder and they bailed. And so let's watch some of this. We'll pause. We're going to watch the exit happen a couple different times so you can see it, and then we'll come back to Marjorie's line of questionings. Here is what it looked like at the outset.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Excuse me, Hunter. Apparently you're afraid of my words.
Pathetic.
Oh. I'd like to reclaim my time, Mr. Chairman.
Pathetic.
Wow, that's too bad.
He left probably because Marjorie was going to show more images of him trafficking in women or doing cocaine or other illegal drugs while he was grifting off of America and getting paid millions of dollars for doing Lord knows what other than trading on his daddy's name. He didn't want to see, his genitals again, which, who could blame anybody for that? But watch what happened. So that was from one angle. I've got a couple other angles because you can see this was all planned. So he basically taps his shoulder as soon as Marjorie gets it. This is another angle. They just get up, walk out, front row seats.
Why are you choosing to leave now, Mr. Biden? Why not stay a while?
I have a statement to make to the press. Statement. I will have a statement to the press. You want to walk?
Okay, so they're talking, you want to stay here? Do you want to walk? Do you want to stay here? Do you want to walk? That's a different angle. Here is another one, and this is from Fox News. This is what they caught.
Gentlemen, time's expired. Chair recognizes Ms. Green from Georgia for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Excuse me, Hunter. Apparently you're afraid of my words.
Whoa. Oh.
Run away,
I'd like
Hunter.
to reclaim my time, Mr. Chairman.
Run away. Okay, so that's what Fox caught, and I got one more clip here for you just to see it from MSNBC's angle. And you can see, watch him just tap his attorney's shoulder right here. As soon as Marjorie gets it, he taps her. Him.
Gentlemen, time's expired. Chair recognizes Ms. Green from Georgia.
Boom, let's go. See that? It's Miss Green. Boom, let's go. It's Green. Don't want to see my genitals
Thank you,
again.
Mr. Chairman. Excuse me, Hunter. Apparently you're afraid of my words.
Okay, now we're going to follow them through and we're going to listen to some exchanges. I've actually got the full clip of Abbe Lowell who explains what's going on here. But let's go back to Marjorie and see what she says after he actually left the court. So here she is.
On conservative Republican women, because he can't even face my words as I was about to speak to him. What a coward.
Coward.
And this is also a coward that sat right here in front of Mickey Babbitt, Ashley Babbitt's mother, who was murdered on January 6th by Michael Byrd, the Capitol police officer. And you want to talk about a committee, a political sham? I'll totally disagree with you, Miss Mace. That January 6th committee was not bipartisan. It was a complete setup to go after President Trump, go after Republicans, go after anyone that believes in free and fair elections, people that believe the Department of Justice should be fair and balanced, not a political weaponized department of the federal government that is targeting President Trump, his supporters, people that walked in the Capitol on January 6th, and now people that stood outside the Capitol. There's been no justice for Ashley Babbitt's family. Michael Byrd has never been charged with anything. He was let off and he was given a promotion and allowed to walk free. And Hunter Biden just walked out. That is an example of not following the law. Hunter Biden thinks he's above the law. Don Jr., Eric Trump, Ivanka, Trump family members had to come in to Democrat subpoenas and be questioned by Democrats for over 8 hours each each of them, Hunter Biden runs away. Hunter Biden did not come when we subpoenaed him. He did not follow the law. And then one of our colleagues helped him evade his subpoena by going and reserving a press conference for him on his behalf, helped him evade the subpoena, helped Hunter Biden break the law. Let's talk about his own father's words. President Joe Biden said in October 2021 that individuals who defy subpoenas from the January 6th House Select Committee should be prosecuted. And the Justice Department indicted Steve Bannon for doing so in November 2021. Hunter Biden's father, the President of the United States, said that he should be prosecuted. Anyone that defies a subpoena should be prosecuted.
Joe said it.
Hunter Biden didn't show up for his subpoena.
Hunter
Biden showed up today to make a clown show of himself, to show that he is nothing but someone that will not obey the law, that wants to show up when he wants to, and sits here with a smug look on his face and runs away when it's my turn to talk. Not only is he a criminal, but he is a coward. Nothing but a coward. Let's talk about the...
Love that. Okay, so Marjorie Taylor-Green on a tear, absolute coward, runs away like a little weenie, and then Abbe Lowell comes out and gives this statement. And so here's what he says. Before we hear some reporters asking some very pertinent questions like what kind of crack he's on, here is what Abbe Lowell said about this when Hunter was out talking to the press.
Well, Mr. Biden, let me start again. Hunter Biden was and is a private citizen. Despite this, Republicans have sought to use him as a surrogate to attack his father. And despite their improper partisan motives, on 6 different occasions since February of 2023, we have offered to work with the House committees to see what and how relevant information to any legitimate inquiry could be provided.
Hunter kind of has that cocaine dead eye stare, isn't it? Kind of like what's going on right now?
Our first 5 offers were ignored, and then in November, they issued a subpoena for a behind closed doors deposition, a tactic that the Republicans have repeatedly misused in their political crusade to selectively leak and mischaracterize what witnesses have said.
What are you going to do when the House...
Last fall, Chairman Comer made an explicit offer that people like Hunter and had, like him, the option to attend a deposition or a public hearing, whichever they chose. Hunter chose a hearing where Republicans could not distort, manipulate, or misuse that testimony, honoring and then ignoring that invitation, and proving once again that they cared little about the truth and wanted only to, quote, move the needle of political support, which was a quote Chairman Comer confessed was his true purpose. The Republican chairs today then are commandeering an unprecedented resolution to hold someone in contempt who has offered to publicly answer all their proper questions. The question there is, what are they afraid of? Thank you.
Okay, so Abbe Lowell delivers the statement that we all expected it would be. And a part of me thinks that, the White House is not happy about this, obviously. Like, they want Hunter to go away, crawl into a gutter from where he belongs, and never hear from him again. Because every time that he pops up, we all go, well, that's a pretty bad double standard here. And it forces the left to defend him, which is like a really hard thing to do. If you've ever taken a look at that book, MarcoPoloUSA.org put this together, the report on the Hunter laptop. It's all available online for free. You can get a copy. But it exposes, like, he is a criminal of epic proportions. And you can go all the way back to tax crimes, other financial fraudulent crimes, embezzlement crime, like FARA crimes. There's a whole laundry list of them, not to mention human trafficking is being alleged, right? Underage stuff with underage people in foreign locations. Like, it's a disgusting, not a good person, and somebody who is basically defending that lifestyle, right? Not responding to any of this and saying that he is above the law. He can show up. There's a valid subpoena. Congress is not going to do anything. They're not going to have the sergeant at arms go arrest him. And he knows that his daddy's Justice Department isn't going to do anything either. And so what is this about? Probably about trying to get that pardon anchored in there. And, when Joe exits, if he's exiting, he's going to have this cover to say, oh, we showed up. My son showed up, but these dang Republicans are coming coming after me. And so it feels like they're trying to provide cover for Hunter. That's what some of the show is about. And we'll see if it works or not. I think, Joe Biden is probably very beholden to him, and they're performing this show because they think it's going to provide political cover. And when this gets bad, when this gets worse, remember, he's got two things going on. He's also got the DOJ prosecution now out of California. So he's got criminal charges in two locations, Delaware and California, and potentially maybe a third one for defying a congressional subpoena. So he's got a lot of stuff coming at him. If he can make this a big high profile thing, Joe Biden can say, I'm going to pardon you for all of this stuff because it's politicized. And then he's happy, right? He goes free back to his crackhead ways or whatever. So that is Abbe Lowell. Now, they were walking after that press conference, and we've got a couple questions from great reporters. But Byron Donalds, after Hunty ran away like a little coward, he said, this isn't about white privilege, which some people might think it is. It's about another privilege, which is even more prevalent and even more real. The other's not. This one's real.
Let's be very clear. This isn't about Hunter Biden's white privilege. It's about Hunter Biden's Democrat privilege.
Boom!
Because Donald Trump Jr. showed up for 5 congressional subpoenas. There was never this circus where he was subpoenaed by House Democrats and he showed up on the Senate side or showed up at the White House to answer in some fake, phony, lame press conference, not actually going to the House and doing what he was compelled by a subpoena to do. Hunter Biden did that. And then he has the unmitigated gall to show up here when we know we're going through actually the legislation for contempt, which, by the way, Mr. Chairman, we should actually get to the legislation of contempt. The speechifying is great, but let's do our business, members. He has the gall to come here, show up, and then when the Democrats are saying, hey, he wants to speak, he leaves. This is a joke. This is a farce.
Yeah.
The man has been subpoenaed by Congress.
Go and get him. He's sitting there mocking all of you. Byron Donalds gets it. Let's get back to work and do our business. So now, as they were leaving, Fox News had some questions for Hunter, and Hunter responded to this. Here is what that sounded like.
Biden, why did you put your dad on speakerphone with your business partners if he had no involvement in your business?
Do you have a dad? Did he call you?
Yes.
Did he answer the phone?
Yes. But why did you need to talk to him during business meetings if he had nothing to do with your business?
Well, you're very dangerous.
Hunter said, you're very dangerous. Did you hear that? You're very dangerous was the response. Yeah, your dad can call you. You can answer it, but not when you're in the middle of a business meeting. Hey, Dad, I'll call you back. Hey, call you back in an hour. I'm wrapping up here. Thanks, son. You're very
So
dangerous.
he says you're very dangerous. And one of the reasons you might say that is because I'm sure that his lawyer said, we're going to go out in the hallway. I'll handle the questions. You don't
talk.
say a word. But he can't help himself. And so he answers that question and then says, you're very dangerous. What do you think of that?
Yeah, I think that's why they want to get him in the deposition chair, because they think that, even though it's in his interest to not answer questions, and even though Abbe Lowell will be there trying to tie him up and gag him and keep him quiet, the impulse is always to be too smart or too clever by half and answer questions. Prosecutors bank on that.
Andy McCarthy, former U.S. assistant attorney, he does a lot of legal analysis, so he's saying, yeah, not that smart for old Hunter. But these were the two questions that really stole the day, and we want to know. I mean, he had that dead-eye stare out there like this. Maybe it's meth or cocaine or some other type of stimulant. But here's the really important question that got lobbed his way.
Would you please, I'll answer your question if you be quiet and let me make a statement, okay?
What kind of crack do you normally smoke, Mr. Biden?
Hey, one more time. What kind of crack do you normally smoke, Mr. Biden? What kind of brand is it? What's your favorite brand? You have good deals anywhere? Like buy one, get one free. You got BOGO deals with your dealer? What kind of stuff you hit? Which one's the smooth one? All right. And that wasn't the only one. Okay. Here was another one as they were walking down. Are you high today, sir?
Other side of me.
Hunter, what's your favorite type of crack? Are you on crack today?
Hey, what's your favorite kind of crack, sir? Are you on crack today, right now? And what kind of crack is your favorite? Are you going back to a crack right now? Are you going to be, hitting that bong with your lawyer? So it is just a circus in there, and Hunter snubbed them again. Now, what is Congress going to do about it? Yeah, they're going to vote and they're going to hem and haw, but are they going to actually hold him in contempt and then send that over to the DOJ and see what the DOJ does? Well, we'll be here to continue to cover it, my friends. The Biden crime family continues to march on. Thank you for subscribing and joining our channel wherever it is you're watching this. We're going to be here covering all this madness, and we'll look forward to seeing you back here on the next one.